So this is what we have. I'm just recapping all that we have done. So if you miss a point, you can please follow. So we have this file given to us. You can also start a new one, so at least you remember all that we have done. I said we have been given this file in drawing. It's a drawing file, unlike yesterday where we worked with Excel file. This time we have been given a drawing file, and we are supposed to convert the contour lines into what? Into a surface, or use the contour line to create a surface. So what I said was, open a new drawing file. The new drawing file should be a drawing file created based on the template that I gave you yesterday, the S&D template. So those of you who did not use it, you see that yours looks a little different from the rest. So you remember yesterday I told you, or I showed you how to do it. You go to options. Those who have done it, you don't have a problem. Options, files, template, then default template file for quick new. I said you double click on this and you go and select the S&D template file that I gave you. When you finish, you click on OK, then you open a new drawing which will be created based on the template file that I gave you. So if you have done that, you go back to the topo, you select all, Control all to select all, Control C to copy. Then you come to the drawing that you just created. You right click, go to clipboard, paste to original coordinates. When you paste to original coordinates, you may see nothing. But if you will double click on your scroll or you type ZA, some computers or some versions, when you type Z, it may tell there is an unknown command. So you can use the scroll. If that does not also work, you just type Z for zoom. Then you select extent, E for extent, and it also will display everything. So this is what we have in our new drawing, which has the S&D template settings. Please, are we okay? Okay. So now we are going to convert this into a surface, but we said that let's first of all check the contour lines that we have, whether they are heighted. So I select any of them, go to properties, and it is heighted. Yes, but the value that I see is 1.5. The label is also 62. Okay, then I go to the next one, 63. 63 is 2.5, and the value there is 63. So you observe that there's a constant difference of 60.5. So what do? Then let me raise everything by 60.5 so that the value that I will get when I go to properties, the elevation value will be equal to the label value. So I said that let's select everything. But even before selecting everything, you know, there are other things here. There are buildings and other things. So we can, even at this point, isolate only the contours. We are working with only the contours. We can isolate only the contours so that we work with only the contours. Please, are we okay? We are interested in the contours. So there are so many ways to kill a cat in AutoCAD. The fact that I'm going through this does not mean you also have to go through. You have to explore, then be able to get the other routes. So I said we can select all and raise everything by 60.5, but our actual interest is only the contours. So why don't I rather turn everything off, leaving only the contours, and raise only the contours? So I select the contours, the major and the minor. You select, you right click, select similar. So all the contours have been selected for me. Then I right click. You can also use layers to turn. You remember how to turn, you turn the other layers off, or you want to use isolation. So I right click, isolate object, isolate selected object. So the other ones have been turned off, including even the label. So it means that I could have let me end isolation and let me include the labels. So I have the labels and the contours. Please, are we okay? Then I said I select all. So I draw a window. You click somewhere up, then the other corner. We have selected everything. So we are going to move it by 60.5. So M for move. M, enter. Specify base point. I click anywhere. click, it is ready to move, but I'm going to move it relative to where I've clicked in the Z direction. So shift the @ sign 0, 0, the value 60.5. I said if you want to also lower it, use a negative value 60.5, enter. Now let me see if it has truly moved. So I click, select any of them, go to the properties and see 63, the label is 63, so it means it has worked. Good. So the next thing to do now is to convert this into a surface. So I close this, I go to prospector, create a new surface, create surface, give it a name, I call it topo 1 or something, then OK. When I click on OK, I expand surfaces, topo, definition, then I go to contours, right click, add, then what do? I put something there, let's say topo map or something, or topo, any something to describe it. I click on OK, then I select what I want. I make sure that everything has been selected. It says 396. Okay, that's good. I right click, this comes, just turn it off. You see that my service has been created for me, but the original contour lines are also showing, so I want to turn them off. But you see, let's end isolation so that the buildings and other things also come. So let's right click, isolate objects, end object isolation. Then I go to home, go to layer properties manager. There's this button to turn off layers, so I click on that one and turn off this one and also this one. So I'll be left with only the surface, the new surface that I've created with its layers, with its contours. Please, are we okay? Yes. Then we said that why don't we want to increase the contour interval so that the minor will have an interval of 0.5 and the major will have an interval of 1. So you select the surface, right click, edit surface style, then you go to where? Contours, contour intervals. We change the minor to 0.5 and the major to 1. I click on OK. So I have it there. Now I want to see my contour labels. I go to annotate, add labels, click the top button, feature a surface, the label style, contour multiple, add. You draw, then you have your labels displayed for you. Please, are we getting it? And we said that the minor, we gave an interval of 0.5, but because the precision we have here is 0, so we are not seeing the decimal, so we want to change the precision to 1. Now I told you to go to settings. We can also do it here. We have this here. You can actually come here, click on this button and go to edit current selection. Can you see it? When you go click on edit current selection, to be the same as if I go to settings, then go to surface, I go to label styles, I go to what? Contour multiple. When you double click, you get the same thing as if you click here and go to edit current selection. The same thing will come. Now you go to layout, the text, the content, you click on this button, you select what is there, then change the precision to what? 0.1. You add, click on OK, OK. Then you do the same thing for the minor. For the minor, I'm going to use this option. I come here, edit current selection. You see the same thing as open for you. Then you come here, surface elevation, you click here, the precision, you change it to 0.1. You click on this to add, OK, OK. You see it has worked. So the same, different methods. I click on close. So I have my contours with the labels. And I said that let's assume that I want to have an idea of in terms of the slopes or the flow lines. I want to have an idea. So I click on the surface, right click, go to edit surface style, then I go to display. I turn my contours off and turn on what? Slope arrows. And this is what I have, the slope arrows. Somebody may say that the arrows are too big. Okay, what can we do? Let's see if we can reduce the arrow sizes. So at this surface style, you go to where you go to analysis, slope arrows. Please, are you seeing it? Analysis, slope arrows. Then it says what? Where is it? The arrow length. Can you see it? The arrow length. If you don't want this kind of colors, you can also change it. But if you, please, are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
You can change it, or even the precision. We want to change it to something else. Let's say 0.1, and the length we use 1, so that we use a smaller value. You see that it has reduced in size. Please, are you getting it? Yes, so at least you have an idea of, if I'm standing here, I know that water is flowing this way. So if I'm to put a drain, let's say a road here, I'll rather, if I want to intercept the water, I'll rather maybe put a drain on this side rather than on this side. Please, are you getting it? So because if I put a drain on this other side, it will actually be collecting nothing. But if it's an estate, maybe you have a building here, you may want to, because the drain is not only for runoff but also for wastewater. So in that case, you may have drains on both sides. So you have this. Please, are we getting it? So wherever I am, I know where the water will be coming from, and that will assist you in designing your drains. Good. So we also said that we want to view this in a model or 3D and have an idea of the terrain. So I said, let's go to the surface properties or the surface style, the display. Then we turn the slope arrows off. Okay, our major and minor, we may want to turn them on. Then the view direction, the model, you turn triangles on and go to OK. You may see nothing happening, but change this from top to maybe any of these views, southwest isometric, and you have something like this. And change the render, or you change this from 2D wireframe to realistic, and this is what you have. And I said go to view so that we can turn off the lines. You see the lines are there. We want to turn the lines off. So you go to view, then you go to visual styles, then no edges. So you have this. So at least you have an idea. There's a channel here. So at least you have an idea that this is what is happening here. Please, are we okay? So this is where we got to. So let me